Hey everyone, my name is Tim Monreal. I'm the Chief Learning Officer here at CrowdSchool. One of the reasons I co-founded CrowdSchool was to solve a problem I was having in my own classroom. For example, I think it's pretty clear that both myself and my students really love doing project-based learning, but it also took quite a bit of time to come up with ideas, search for resources, organize them. And I was trying to do this in a bunch of different ways, but I decided to create CrowdSchool to solve that problem. I wanted to take a few seconds to show you just how easy it is to create a project-based lesson on CrowdSchool. Just to eliminate any confusion, we call our project-based lessons challenges. We find that kids really like the idea and the notion of a challenge. So enough from me, let's go ahead and get started. It seems pretty easy, but let's create a challenge. For this particular challenge, it deals with community problems and improvements. I'm going to go ahead and create a social studies lesson about community problems for grade 8. As my students go through the project, they are going to create a presentation or a video or a website. If I did not find anything that I liked, I could type my own, but I'm perfectly happy. Hitting start, I move to the next part of my challenge creation. I challenge students to make a presentation, video, or website that investigates community problems and creates solutions. So I want my students to be engaged citizens is the goal of this project. After my students complete this challenge, they will present their projects to our community, and we actually did this as we presented to the City Council. I press submit and I'm taken to the actual challenge. From here on out, this is what the students are going to see as they interact with CrowdSchool. The first thing I do is change the challenge title. This is the Community Improvement Challenge. All changes are auto-saved, so I don't have to worry about losing my work. This is what we call the challenge video, and it's a place for you to really kick off and engage the project. Usually I save this till the end, but I have made a video already. I copy the video and go back to CrowdSchool. Paste, submit. I add standards. Common Core, of course. Simply copy and paste, and they show up. What will my students learn? My students will be able to analyze community problems. There's a space to add a rubric. Although since I created the CrowdSchool rubric that comes pre-made, I'm just going to keep it as it is. Just like that, I've created the basics of my challenge. Moving forward, I will go to the Learn tab. The Learn tab is a place for you as a teacher, or me right now, to add multimedia web resources so that my students can learn the necessary content. I've found a couple web links that will help them. All I have to do is copy and paste, and the web resource shows up as a thumbnail. Here are ideas from another class that did something very similar. And I want this resource in front of the other one. I can do that. I can also add more topics. For example, as my students are coming across, they need to have credible web research. I have this favorite YouTube video that I'm going to want my students to interact with. Once again, it's as simple as copying and pasting a link. The Make section is the place where you populate how-to tutorials for how to complete the physical project. As you see here, we have presentations, videos, websites, and places for others, because that's what I selected at the beginning. We have a great list of Make resources that you can look at and simply copy and paste. In this case, I can go to Presentation, and I can find pre-approved presentation resources. This is fully editable, so you can go and add your own and we can learn from each other. I love emails, so I want to provide them with the resource for that as well. And boom, my students have everything they need to create a fantastic presentation. Moving onward in creating this, we have the to-do section. The to-do section is personally one of my favorites because it gives me an opportunity to create checkpoints or check-ins for my students. I will do this in the form of an assignment in the Learn Organizer. It's due next Monday. And like everything else, so intuitively on CrowdSchool, I just copy and paste the link. And my students now have the organizer that they're responsible for. We can also add when the final project is due 2 weeks. And insert. So how do students use a challenge that I've created? You'll see I'm here in my dashboard. Here's the community improvement challenge I just created. I select publish, and I get a unique code that my students will use to enter the challenge. Students will paste the code that you gave them in the student section. They'll log in, and they'll see the challenge as you created it. In my dashboard, I have the opportunity to edit, delete, or duplicate any challenges that I create. You also have the ability to share in the marketplace. Simply fill out the form, and you can tell us how you want your challenge described. From there, you'll have other teachers who can take the wonderful work you've done, learn from you, and you even have the opportunity to earn real income by doing so. It's really exciting for me to look forward and see all the wonderful things that teachers are going to share.